How many people do we have here that are in the labor unions across America? Anybody? How many that support labor? Thank you. Good morning. My name is Jeremy Hendricks, as Mike said, with the Laborers International Union of North America. We're a construction and service worker union that fights every day for safer job sites, living wages, and a Texas that actually works for working people. I've walked picket lines. I've been on job sites for over 20 years now. And unfortunately, Texas is the most dangerous state for workers. We are living in a dark reality for workers here in Texas. More people die on the job. More people are injured on the job. We're the only state in America without workers' comp, which means when someone gets in a situation where they're hurt, they're often left stranded on their own. We also have more wage theft, which means billions of dollars are stolen from workers every year in this state. We've got widespread misclassification, which means that people are skirting taxes, they're avoiding benefits, and they're avoiding paying people the right wages. We've got to change that in Texas. We've got weak enforcement, and sadly, this state has been the breeding ground for right to work and other attacks on workers for decades. All of this makes it harder and harder for working families to thrive and survive in this state. It's harder to pay the bills, it's harder to build a future, and it's harder to get health care. It's harder to stay safe and really take care of your family. That's why we have got to protect workers if we're going to protect our democracy. When workers don't have rights, when they don't have protections, when they don't have a voice, that's when democracy crumbles. It's not just an economic issue. It's a threat to the fundamental nature of our democracy. And a true democracy means that people can speak up, they can speak out, they can demand a seat at the table, and they can organize for a better life. Sadly, this keeps going on, but this kind of action here today, this No Kings rally is exactly what's going to change that for working people. We have got to build a Texas that have safe job sites, because you shouldn't be worried about your family member coming home at the end of the day when they're just trying to get a paycheck. We've got to fight for fair wages, and thank God places like Houston and Austin have led this state for living wages. But we need that to spread to other communities, because the state of Texas isn't doing it and our federal government isn't doing it. We've had stagnant wages for decades, and people are struggling. First and foremost, though, people need the right to organize. If people can't organize on the job site, they can't speak up for themselves, if they're beaten down on the job site, then they're never going to be able to show up at a rally like this and fight for their fundamental rights. And so we've got to make sure that people have those rights, because when we protect workers, we protect our democracy. And this is something we've got to remember always. When we fight, we win. Say it with me. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. Thank you. That's why we've got to demand better protections for workers. We've got to make sure people aren't exploited on the job site. We've got to make sure that people stand with workers, that our leaders stand with workers, not these damn billionaires and corporations, which is happening way too much. We've got to demand a democracy where every voice is heard and every vote is counted. And unfortunately, right now, we've got people being suppressed. And with the SAVE Act, they're trying to force down our throats. They're trying to disenfranchise more and more people. So we've got to speak up and stand out at actions like this every day. We need an America with no corruption, no abuse, and no kings. So say it with me one more time. We can do this together. We can build an America that works for everybody, because when we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. Thank you. Please keep fighting.